Tom was a
okay,
single
I will
dad
get
and
you
life
out.
had not been kind to him in the last 2 years. After his wife passed away, he had to take care of everything on his own.
It is okay,
Every
I will
morning
get you
started
out.
early and every night ended late. He worked at a construction site, lifting heavy materials and managing a team of workers.
It is okay, I will get you out.
It was exhausting, but he never let his fatigue show to his daughter Mia. She was only 8, full of energy and curiosity,
okay, I will
and her
get you
laughter
out.
was the light in Tom's life. Despite the struggles, he always found ways to make her feel loved and safe. On one chilly evening, Tom returned home from work. The sky was turning shades of orange and purple as the sun began to set. The wind was blowing strongly, rustling the leaves and swaying the small trees in the garden. As Tom approached the gate, he noticed it was slightly open. He frowned. He remembered locking it that morning. The sight made a shiver run down his spine. Something felt wrong. "Mia, are you in the yard?" He called loudly. His voice echoed across the empty space, but no response came. Panic started rising in his chest. He quickened his steps and looked around carefully. The garden was quiet, except for the movement of the wind. Tom's heart beat faster with every second. He scanned the flower beds, the swing, and the small sandbox. Then, near the back fence, he noticed something strange, a small mound of earth that looked recently disturbed. Tom ran closer, his stomach tightening. As he reached the spot, he could not believe his eyes. There, buried up to her neck in the soft soil, was Mia. Her brown eyes were wide with fear, and her small hands were trembling slightly as they rested on the earth beside her. She looked at her father, and for a moment neither of them spoke. Tom's mind was racing, his chest feeling tight as though it were filled with ice. He knelt beside her carefully, making sure not to hurt her. "Mia, I've got you." "It's okay. I'm here," he said, trying to keep his voice calm even though it shook with fear. Mia's lips trembled, and she whispered softly, "Dad, help me." Tom reached under the soil, digging gently, lifting her little body with all the care he could manage. Her tiny body was cold and she shivered, but she was alive. Relief washed over Tom and tears pricked his eyes. Once Mia was safe, he pulled her into his arms and hugged her tightly. She buried her face in his chest, shaking as she tried to speak. I was playing hide and seek," she said quietly, her voice trembling. Then a man came. He said he wanted to play too. I didn't know what to do, and then he put me here. Tom's heart stopped. He could barely breathe. The garden, which had always been a place of joy and play for Mia, had turned into a place of fear and danger. Tom gently stroked her hair, whispering, "It's okay, Mia. You are safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you." His mind was spinning. Who could do such a thing to a little girl? He looked around the garden, trying to see if there were any clues, any sign of the man who had done this. But the yard was empty, and the wind carried only the sound of rustling leaves. He carried Mia inside the house and placed her on the couch. She clung to him, her small hands gripping his shirt. Tom called the police immediately, explaining everything in as calm a voice as he could manage. Within minutes, officers arrived at their home. They examined the garden and asked Mia questions gently, trying to help her explain what had happened. Tom stayed by her side the whole time, holding her hand, feeling a mix of anger, fear, and guilt. How had he not noticed the danger? How had someone dared to come so close to his daughter? Mia, still trembling, tried to explain more details. "He said he knew where Mommy was," she whispered. Tom's heart skipped a beat. Even after all this, the mention of his wife brought a fresh wave of sadness. He hugged her tighter, promising, "I will always protect you. Mia, nothing bad will happen to you ever again." He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him, but at the same time he felt a determination rising. He would do whatever it took to keep her safe, to make sure nothing like this ever happened again. That night, Tom stayed awake long after Mia had fallen asleep. He sat by her bed watching her breathe peacefully. The events of the evening had shaken him to the core, but he also realized how much he loved his daughter and how important it was to be vigilant. The garden, which had once been a place of laughter, was now a reminder that the world could be dangerous. But Tom knew he would face every challenge and he would always be there to protect Mia, no matter what. The next morning, Tom woke before the sun. He had barely slept. His mind was restless, turning over the events of the previous evening. He kept thinking about Mia's words and the stranger who had buried her in the garden. He could still see her wide, frightened eyes in his mind. He could not shake the thought that someone they trusted, or at least someone they knew, might have done this. He made a quiet promise to himself. He would find out the truth and make sure Mia was never in danger again. Mia woke a little later, her small face still pale and tired. She moved quietly, careful not to disturb her father. Tom knelt beside her bed, brushing a lock of hair from her forehead. "Good morning, Mia. How are you feeling?" he asked gently. She looked at him with a small, shaky smile. "I'm okay, Dad, just—" "Scared," she admitted. Tom nodded, understanding her fear. He wanted to reassure her, but he knew words alone would not be enough. After breakfast, Tom called the police again. He wanted to give them every detail Mia could remember. Officers arrived quickly and asked Mia to describe the stranger. She took a deep breath. He looked nice at first, he smiled. But then he said he knew where Mommy was. He said if I didn't do what he said, something bad could happen, she whispered. Tom's heart sank at the memory. He held her hand tightly, feeling anger rise inside him. How could anyone threaten a child in such a cruel way? The police nodded seriously. They explained that they would check the neighborhood and nearby security cameras to try to find the man. Tom agreed immediately. He could not wait for answers. He had to know who had hurt his daughter. Mia stayed close to him, holding his hand, and he felt her small warmth give him strength. He realized that fear alone could not protect her, but love and attention could. Hours later, they reviewed footage from cameras near the school and the park. Tom's stomach turned as the video showed a man following Mia after school. He watched carefully, trying to see if he recognized him. Then his eyes widened in disbelief. It was Mr. Collins, a neighbor they had known for a few years. He always seemed friendly, waving hello and sometimes helping with small chores. Tom could not believe it. How could someone he trusted do something so cruel? Tom's mind raced with questions. Why would Mr. Collins do this? Was it planned, or had he acted on a sudden idea? Tom felt a cold wave of fear. The man had seemed harmless, but now he realized that danger could hide behind a familiar face. He promised himself that he would never underestimate anyone again, and he would do everything to keep Mia safe. The police came to the house later that day to speak with Mr. Collins. Tom watched carefully from a distance, his hands clenched into fists. He could feel his anger and confusion building. When the man finally spoke, he seemed nervous, avoiding eye contact. I didn't mean to hurt her. I wanted to play a game, he stammered. Tom felt his blood boil. How could someone think it was okay to scare a little girl and bury her in the garden? The thought made him shiver. After Mr. Collins was taken for questioning, Tom returned to Mia. She was sitting on the couch, her small hands gripping her blanket. "Dad, I don't understand why he did it," she said quietly. Tom knelt beside her, holding her hand. "Some people make bad choices, Mia. Sometimes they do things that are wrong because they don't understand how it affects others. But I promise you, no one will ever hurt you again. We will stay safe together," he said firmly. Mia looked up at him and nodded, trying to smile. Tom spent the rest of the day planning ways to make their home safer. He made a list of things to do. New locks on the doors, better lighting in the garden, cameras to watch the yard. He wanted to make sure Mia could play outside without fear. As he worked, he thought about the past and the lessons he had learned. He realized that being a parent was not just about love and care. It was also about vigilance, preparation, and courage. That evening, after dinner, Tom sat with Mia in the living room. She was wrapped in a soft blanket, looking out the window at the garden where she had almost been hurt. "Dad, do you think he will come back?" she asked softly. Tom shook his head. "No, Mia. The police are helping us and we are making everything safe. Nothing bad will happen here again," he said. Mia leaned her head against his shoulder, feeling comforted by his words. As night fell, Tom stayed awake, watching Mia sleep. The events of the past day had shaken him deeply, but he also felt determination. He would protect her, guide her, and make sure she grew up feeling safe and loved. He knew the world could be unpredictable, but he also knew that with care, attention, and love, he could face any challenge. And most importantly, he would never let Mia feel alone again. The next morning, Tom woke early again. Sleep had been light and restless. His mind could not stop thinking about the previous days and the man who had hurt Mia. The police were investigating, but Tom felt he had to do more. He wanted to understand exactly how someone they knew could act in such a cruel way. He knew Mia was fragile and scared, and he could not allow himself to feel powerless. After breakfast, Tom sat with the police officers at the kitchen table. He tried to remember everything unusual he had noticed recently. He thought about Mr. Collins, the neighbor they had always trusted. Tom remembered seeing him at the park where Mia sometimes played after school. He had always waved and smiled, helping parents pick up children or carry small items. Now Tom realized that the friendly man might have been watching Mia closely for weeks. The thought made his stomach twist. The detective suggested checking the nearby security cameras. Tom immediately agreed. "We need to know the truth," he said firmly. Mia sat quietly beside him, holding his hand. Her small grip reminded him that she depended on him completely. He could not fail her. Hours later, they watched footage from cameras around the neighborhood. The screen showed Mr. Collins approaching Mia after school. At first, he seemed calm and polite, talking to her and smiling. Then, without warning, he led her away toward the garden. Tom's chest tightened. He could not believe what he was seeing. The man they had trusted had betrayed them. Tom felt a wave of fear mixed with anger. He thought about all the times he had seen Mr. Collins help with small tasks around the house or chat with Mia. How could someone act so kindly one moment and so dangerously the next? He realized that appearances could be deceiving, and that people were sometimes capable of doing things they never expected. That afternoon, the police returned to speak with Mr. Collins again. Tom stayed nearby, listening to the conversation from the living room. Mr. Collins seemed nervous, avoiding eye contact, and his hands shook slightly. I didn't mean to hurt her," he said softly. "I just wanted to teach her a lesson. I thought it would be fun." Tom's heart sank. How could anyone think it was acceptable to frighten a child in such a way? The police asked many questions. They wanted to understand why he had acted as he did and whether Mia was truly safe. Tom listened carefully, feeling his anger and confusion grow. He knew that whatever explanation Mr. Collins gave, it could not erase the fear he had caused. But at the same time, Tom knew he had to remain calm for Mia's sake. She needed to feel safe and protected. After the police left, Tom returned to Mia. She was sitting on the couch, her small hands holding a stuffed toy tightly. "Dad, why would he do this?" she asked softly. Tom knelt beside her and held her hand gently. "Some people make choices that are not right," he explained. "They forget how their actions affect others. But we will be careful, and we will make sure nothing like this ever happens again. You are safe, Mia." Mia leaned against him, feeling the warmth of his reassurance. Tom knew that words alone were not enough. He decided to take action to make their home safer. That evening, he walked through the house and garden, checking every lock and window. He installed stronger locks on the doors and added new lights to the garden. He even set up a small camera to watch the yard. Every precaution he took made him feel slightly more in control. Later, Tom spent time talking to Mia about safety. He taught her simple rules about talking to strangers and staying close to him or other trusted adults. He made the lessons gentle so Mia would not be scared, but he wanted her to understand the importance of caution. She listened carefully, nodding as if she understood, and Tom felt a sense of relief. As the day ended, Tom sat quietly in the living room, watching Mia play near the window. She was drawing pictures with colored pencils, her small face focused and calm. Tom felt a mixture of pride and sadness. He knew they had survived a frightening experience, but he also understood that life could be unpredictable. He needed to remain vigilant, patient, and strong for her. That night before bed, Tom held Mia in his arms and whispered, "We will face anything together, Mia. You are never alone, and I will always protect you." Mia rested her head against his chest, feeling safe and loved. Tom stayed awake for a while, thinking about the lessons of the day. He realized that danger could come from anyone, even someone familiar. But he also understood that love, care, and preparation were powerful tools. With these, he could face any challenge and keep Mia safe. The events of the past days had changed him. He felt stronger, more aware, and more determined. He knew the path ahead might not be easy, but he also knew that with Mia by his side, they could overcome anything together. The bond between father and daughter had grown deeper, and Tom knew that no one could ever take that away. The following morning, Tom felt a mixture of determination and unease. Even though the police had taken Mr. Collins for questioning, he could not shake the feeling that there were still answers he needed. He needed to know why someone they trusted would hurt Mia. Most importantly, he wanted to make sure Mia was truly safe. After breakfast, Tom decided he could not wait any longer. He needed to speak directly with Mr. Collins, to look him in the eyes and understand why this had happened. He called the police to inform them of his plan and then walked to Mr. Collins's house. His heart was heavy, but he felt he had to confront the truth for Mia's sake. When he arrived, Mr. Collins opened the door cautiously. His face was pale and he avoided looking directly at Tom. "Can we talk?" Tom asked firmly but calmly. Mr. Collins hesitated, then stepped aside. Tom entered, keeping his voice steady. "I need to know why you did this. Why would you put a little girl in danger?" Mr. Collins' hands trembled slightly and he looked at the floor. I didn't mean to hurt her," he said quietly. I thought it would be a lesson. I didn't know it would scare her so much." Tom's eyes narrowed. How could anyone think that frightening a child and burying her in the garden was a lesson? The thought made him shiver. The conversation lasted for nearly an hour. Tom asked questions carefully, listening to every word. Mr. Collins seemed nervous and inconsistent, unable to provide clear reasons. His explanations did not make sense, and Tom realized that the man had acted recklessly. He was lucky Mia had been strong enough to stay calm, and lucky that Tom had arrived when he did. After leaving Mr. Collins's house, Tom returned home with a heavy heart. He knew the danger was over for now, but he also understood that life could be unpredictable. He could not afford to be careless even with people they thought they knew. He made a mental note to teach Mia more about safety, not in a way that frightened her, but in a way that prepared her for the world. That afternoon, Tom sat with Mia on the couch. She clung to her favorite stuffed toy, looking nervous. "Dad, will he come back?" she asked softly. Tom shook his head. "No, Mia, he won't come back. The police are helping and we are making everything safe. Nothing bad will happen here again," he said. Mia looked up at him, her small eyes trusting him. She leaned against him and he hugged her tightly. Tom spent the rest of the day taking action to make their home safer. He reinforced the garden fence, checked all doors and windows, and added extra lights in every corner. He even installed a small camera to watch the yard. Every precaution made him feel a little more in control. He wanted Mia to play outside freely without fear, and he wanted to make sure she knew he was always watching out for her. In the evening, Tom decided to take a different approach. He wanted Mia to feel safe, but he also wanted her to feel strong. He explained simple rules about talking to strangers, staying near trusted adults, and always letting him know where she was. He did this gently, making it a lesson, not a warning. Mia listened carefully, nodding and asking questions. Tom could see that she was learning and understanding. He felt a sense of relief. As night fell, Tom watched Mia play quietly near the window. She was drawing pictures with her colored pencils, her face calm and focused. He felt proud of her and thankful that she was safe. The events of the past days had been frightening, but he realized that they had also strengthened their bond. He understood that courage and preparation could protect them from danger, and that love could give them strength to face anything. Before bed, Tom held Mia in his arms. "We will face anything together, Mia," he whispered softly. "You are never alone, and I will always protect you." Mia rested her head against his chest, feeling safe and loved. Tom stayed awake for a while longer, thinking about how much he had learned. He knew the world could be unpredictable, but he also knew that with care, vigilance, and love, he could keep Mia safe. By the time he finally lay down, Tom felt a sense of determination. He had learned that danger could come from unexpected places, even from people they trusted, but he had also learned that he could face it with courage. Most importantly, he knew that he and Mia could face the future together, stronger and braver than ever before. Days passed, and Tom made sure every part of the house and garden was secure. Locks, cameras, and lights made him feel a little safer, but he noticed something that concerned him more than anything: the change in Mia. She was quieter than usual. Her eyes did not shine as brightly, and she seemed lost in her thoughts. Tom knew that while physical safety was important, he also had to care for her emotional well-being. One afternoon, as the sun streamed through the windows, Tom found Mia sitting on the couch, hugging her knees. "Mia, what's wrong?" he asked gently. She looked up at him, her eyes serious. "Dad, I think the man, he wanted me to tell you something," she said softly. Tom's stomach tightened. "Tell me, Mia. Anything, I can handle it," he said, keeping his voice calm. Mia hesitated, then whispered, "He said Mommy left something for me. Something hidden in the garden." Tom's heart skipped a beat. His late wife had passed away 2 years ago, and the thought that she might have left clues or secrets for Mia gave him a mix of hope and fear. What had she hidden, and why had this stranger mentioned it? Tom nodded slowly. "Okay, Mia, we will find it together. But we have to be careful and do it safely," he said. Mia's eyes brightened slightly and she nodded. She felt reassured by her father's calmness and courage. Tom realized that whatever they found could help Mia understand her mother's love in a new way, and perhaps help them feel stronger together. Tom grabbed a small shovel and gloves, and he and Mia went to the garden. He looked carefully at the soil, searching for signs of something buried. Mia pointed to a spot near the flower bushes where the soil looked slightly different. Tom knelt down and began to dig gently. His hands moved carefully, removing the dirt layer by layer, making sure not to damage anything that might be hidden. After a few minutes, his hands touched a small wooden box. Tom pulled it out slowly, brushing the dirt off. Mia watched, wide-eyed and curious. The box was old but well-made, with a small lock on the front. Tom opened it carefully, revealing letters, photographs, and a small key. He looked at Mia and smiled softly. "It looks like Mommy left this for us," he said. Mia picked up one of the letters and unfolded it carefully. The handwriting was familiar, her mother's writing, gentle and clear. The letters spoke about her childhood, the struggles she had faced, and the people who had tried to hurt her. But more importantly, the letters revealed how much she loved Mia and Tom. She had planned ways to protect them, even from beyond the grave. Tom held Mia close as she read the letters. "Mommy was thinking of us," Mia whispered, her small voice full of wonder. Tom nodded, feeling tears in his eyes. "Yes, Mia. She loved us very much and wanted to make sure we would be safe and happy," he said. He realized that his wife had prepared them for life's challenges in a way he had never imagined. Her love had been present even when she was gone. Among the items in the box was a small key. Tom examined it closely. "Mia, this key. I think it opens something important. We need to find out what it unlocks," he said. Mia's eyes sparkled with excitement and curiosity. She felt as if her mother was guiding them, leaving little clues that would lead them to something special. Tom spent the rest of the afternoon planning their next steps. He wanted to make sure everything they did was safe and thoughtful. He explained to Mia that they would search the house carefully, checking every room and corner. He emphasized that patience and care were important. Mia listened closely, understanding that her mother's messages were a gift, something to treasure and learn from. That evening, Tom sat with Mia in the living room, watching her carefully examine the letters and photographs. Each picture told a story about her mother, her childhood, and the love she had for her family. Tom felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that even in the face of danger, the love between family could give strength and courage. Before bed, Tom held Mia in his arms. "Mommy left these for us so we could feel her love even when she is not here," he whispered. Mia nodded, resting her head on his shoulder. She felt comforted, knowing that her mother's love was always with her. Tom understood that their journey was not just about safety, but also about discovering the strength and guidance that came from love and care. The day had been long, but it brought hope. Tom knew that they had a new mission, to uncover the secrets his wife had left behind. Each discovery would bring them closer together, and each lesson would help Mia grow brave and strong. Tom felt determined. With love, care, and courage, they could face any challenge together, and nothing could take away the bond they shared. The next morning, Tom and Mia woke early, filled with curiosity and a sense of purpose. After discovering the wooden box and letters from Mia's mother, they felt a mixture of excitement and wonder. The small key found in the box had sparked a new mission. Tom promised Mia they would uncover all the secrets her mother had left behind, and he wanted to make the search safe and careful. They began by looking around the house for anything that might match the key. Tom checked cabinets, drawers, and cupboards while Mia watched closely, holding the letters and photographs. Each item seemed ordinary, but Tom reminded Mia that her mother had planned everything carefully. "Mommy was smart," he said. "She wanted us to find these things step by step." Mia nodded eagerly, feeling the importance of the task. After some searching, Tom noticed the small attic door at the end of the hallway. He had rarely gone up there, as it was usually locked and used for storage. But now he felt a strong intuition that this was the place. He called Mia over and showed her the key. "I think this key might open the attic chest," he said softly. Mia's eyes widened, full of excitement. She had never been this close to finding one of her mother's special secrets before. Tom carefully unlocked the attic door and carried a small flashlight with him. Mia followed, her small hands holding his tightly. The attic was dusty and filled with old boxes and trunks, but Tom's eyes searched carefully for anything that stood out. At the back of the attic, hidden behind large crates, he noticed a wooden chest with a small keyhole. It looked old but well made, and it was the only chest in the attic with a lock that matched their key. Tom inserted the key slowly, turning it carefully. The lock clicked open and he lifted the lid gently. Inside, they found a collection of items that seemed like treasures to Mia. There were toys, small books, letters, photographs, and even a few handmade gifts from her mother. Mia gasped in wonder. She reached inside carefully, picking up a soft toy that smelled faintly of her mother's favorite perfume. "Mommy left all this for me?" she whispered. Tom nodded, smiling through tears. "Yes, Mia. She wanted you to have these to remind you of her love and care." Mia carefully opened one of the letters and Tom read alongside her. The words were simple but full of emotion. Her mother wrote about her hopes and dreams for Mia, describing how proud she was and how much she loved her. She also shared small lessons about life, how to be brave, kind, and careful in the world. Each sentence felt like a hug, comforting Mia and giving her strength. Tom realized that her mother had planned this chest to be a guide for Mia. It was not just about keeping her safe. It was about teaching her values and showing her the love that would always surround her. He felt a deep sense of gratitude and connection to his late wife. Even though she was gone, her wisdom and love continued to guide them. Mia explored the rest of the chest carefully. She found old photographs of her mother as a child, smiling with her own parents, playing in fields, and learning small lessons about life. She found letters addressed to her, each with words of encouragement. "Mommy wanted me to be brave," Mia said softly, holding one letter close. Tom nodded. "Yes, Mia, and you are brave. She knew you would be, and she trusted us to face the world together." After they examined everything in the chest, Tom sat with Mia on the attic floor. "See, Mia? Mommy left us these things not just to remember her, but to help us be strong and smart. She wanted us to be happy and safe," he explained. Mia smiled, feeling warmth and love fill her heart. She realized that even though her mother was gone, she was still guiding them through these thoughtful gifts. Before heading back downstairs, Tom and Mia carefully closed the chest. Tom promised Mia they would come back often to read the letters, look at the photographs, and treasure the memories. It felt like a small adventure, discovering the love and wisdom her mother had left behind. As they descended the attic stairs, Tom felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that life could be unpredictable and sometimes frightening, but he also realized that love and guidance could give them the strength to face any challenge. With Mia by his side, and the lessons from her mother guiding them, he felt ready to protect her, teach her, and help her grow strong and brave. That evening, Tom held Mia close before bed. "Mommy loved us so much and she wanted us to always feel that love," he whispered. Mia rested her head against his chest, feeling safe and comforted. She understood that their journey together had only just begun, and that with love, care, and courage, they could face anything. Tom stayed awake for a long time that night, thinking about the treasures in the attic chest and the lessons they contained. He knew that every day would bring new challenges, but with Mia and her mother's guidance, they could meet the future together, stronger and braver than ever. The days after discovering the attic chest passed in a calm but thoughtful rhythm. Tom noticed Mia growing more confident with each passing day. She still remembered the frightening experience with the stranger, but now she had something stronger to hold on to, her mother's love and guidance. Every morning Mia would pick a letter or photograph from the chest, and together they would read it or talk about the memories it contained. One afternoon, Tom noticed Mia looking at a photograph of her mother as a child. The little girl in the picture was laughing in a garden, her hands full of flowers. Mia's eyes glistened with curiosity and longing. "Dad, Mommy looks so happy here. I wish I could have known her like this," she said softly. Tom took her small hand in his and smiled gently. "You know, Mia, even though we didn't see all of her life, her love is always with us. She left these for us so we could feel her love and learn from it." Mia nodded, feeling warmth spread through her chest. That evening, Tom decided to make a plan for the future. He wanted to turn the lessons in the chest into real-life guidance for Mia. He thought carefully about how to teach her not only safety, but courage, kindness, and resilience. He realized that the events of the past few weeks had prepared them for challenges and had made their bond even stronger. Tom also reflected on the stranger who had frightened Mia. He knew they had been lucky, and he understood the importance of being vigilant. He decided to speak with Mia about safety in a gentle way, making sure she understood how to protect herself without feeling afraid. "Mia," he said softly, "you are strong and smart, and you know how to be careful. That is one of the ways Mommy wanted you to be prepared. Life can be tricky sometimes, but we can face anything together." Mia smiled, feeling proud and brave. The next few days were filled with small adventures. Tom and Mia would explore the garden, imagining stories about her mother's childhood. They would plant flowers and trees together, creating a space that felt alive and safe. Each action reminded them of love, growth, and protection. Tom found joy in watching Mia laugh and play freely again. Her laughter felt like music in the house, washing away the fear of the past. One afternoon, while reorganizing the attic chest, Mia found a small envelope tucked behind some letters. She handed it to Tom with wide eyes. "Look, Dad, there's something new." Tom carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a note from her mother, written in her familiar handwriting. It read about the importance of trust and kindness, reminding Mia that while there are challenges in the world, love and care could guide her through them. Tom felt tears in his eyes. He realized that every message from her mother was meant to strengthen Mia's heart and mind. Mia held the note close and whispered, "Mommy wanted me to be brave and happy." Tom nodded, hugging her tightly. "Yes, Mia, and you are brave and happy because of her love and because of your strength. Together we can face anything." They stayed like that for a while, wrapped in each other's arms, feeling the warmth of family and the guidance of her mother's wisdom. That night, Tom thought about the challenges they had faced. He realized that the experience with the stranger and the discovery of the chest had taught them lessons that could not be learned any other way. He felt gratitude for the love his wife had left behind, and for the courage that Mia showed every day. He understood that even in the hardest moments they could find strength and hope. Tom also reflected on his own journey as a father. He knew that being a single parent was not easy, but he had discovered reserves of patience, love, and determination he never knew he had. Mia's courage inspired him, and her trust motivated him to be the best father he could be. He realized that parenting was a balance of care, guidance, and allowing children to learn and grow with confidence. Before bed, Tom and Mia sat together by the window, looking at the garden. The flowers they had planted swayed gently in the evening breeze. Tom whispered softly, "Mia, we have learned so much from Mommy, and we have each other. That is our strength." Mia smiled, feeling safe and loved. She knew that no matter what happened in the world, her father would always protect her, and her mother's love would always guide them. As Tom watched Mia sleep that night, he felt a deep sense of peace. They had survived fear, uncovered secrets, and grown stronger together. He knew the journey was not over, but he also knew that with love, courage, and care they could face whatever came next. He whispered quietly, "We are ready, Mia. Together, we can handle anything." Mia, asleep and peaceful, seemed to understand, and Tom felt hope fill his heart for the first time in a long while. The morning sun streamed through the windows, casting a warm glow over the house. Tom watched Mia stretch and yawn, her small face glowing with a mixture of curiosity and excitement. After all they had been through, the house now felt safe and full of love. The attic chest had become a source of joy and learning, a connection to the mother Mia had never fully known but felt close to every day. "Dad, can we look at another letter today?" Mia asked, her eyes shining. Tom smiled. "Of course, Mia. Let's see what Mommy has for us today." They climbed the stairs together and sat on the floor by the chest. Each letter seemed to bring new stories, new guidance, and little lessons. Some were playful, some thoughtful, and all were full of love. Mia felt as if her mother was there with them, guiding and encouraging them to be brave and kind. After reading a few letters, Tom suggested they go outside into the garden. The fresh air and the gentle warmth of the sun helped them feel alive and happy. The garden had become a place of growth, a place where they planted flowers and trees together, creating a safe and vibrant space. Mia ran among the flowers, her laughter echoing across the yard. Tom watched her, feeling proud and grateful. He realized that despite the frightening events they had faced, life could still be beautiful and full of joy. While Mia played, Tom thought about the journey they had traveled. He remembered the fear of discovering her buried in the garden and the anger and confusion that followed. But he also remembered the hope and love they had uncovered through the attic chest and letters. His heart was full of gratitude for the guidance her mother had left behind. It had helped them heal and grow stronger. Later that afternoon, Tom decided it was time to share a special memory with Mia. He pulled out an old photo album, one that had pictures of her mother from when she was young. Together, they looked at the photographs, talking about each one. Tom told Mia stories of her mother's kindness, bravery, and love for family. Mia listened carefully, smiling at the memories and feeling closer to her mother than ever before. "Mia, do you remember when we found the chest?" Tom asked gently. "Yes, Dad, it was like Mommy was sending us messages," Mia said. Tom nodded. "Exactly. And every letter and photograph shows that her love is always with us. We can face anything because we have each other and her guidance." Mia hugged him tightly. She felt secure and loved, knowing that her father and her mother's memory would always protect her. That evening, after dinner, Tom and Mia sat by the window, watching the stars appear in the sky. The calm and quiet gave them a sense of peace. "Dad, I'm not scared anymore," Mia said softly. "I know that Mommy loves me and you will always protect me." Tom held her close. "Yes, Mia, you are safe and you are strong. We will face everything together and love will always guide us." As the night grew deeper, Tom tucked Mia into bed. He kissed her forehead and whispered softly, "Sleep well, Mia. Tomorrow is a new day full of love, happiness, and learning. Mommy's guidance and our courage will always be with us." Mia smiled and closed her eyes, feeling safe and cherished. Tom stayed by her side for a few moments longer, thinking about how far they had come. The journey that had begun with fear and uncertainty had led them to hope and strength. Tom realized that challenges could teach lessons and love could provide guidance stronger than any obstacle. He had discovered his own courage and patience as a father, and he knew that Mia was growing up brave, kind, and confident. Finally, Tom left the room quietly, looking back at Mia one last time. He felt a deep sense of peace and gratitude. The house was no longer a place of fear. It was a home filled with memories, love, and hope. He knew that life would bring new challenges, but he also knew that together, with courage, care, and the love of family, they could overcome anything. Tom turned off the light and closed the door gently. As he walked down the hallway, he smiled. The future felt bright, full of possibilities, and secure. Mia would grow up with confidence, guided by love, wisdom, and the lessons her mother had left behind. They had survived the darkest moments and emerged stronger, ready to face whatever life would bring. And most importantly, they had each other, and that was more than enough.